Hey everybody, it's Suzette Speaks live on your radio. Dr. Jason Prendergrass. I can't see you, Doc. Come over a little bit. We've been talking mental health. My hair's a little messed up because I did my first half on Instagram. So today, sorry about the technical difficulties yesterday. We couldn't get on, but today we're having a wonderful conversation about how social media impacts our mental health. And Dr. Prendergrass is giving us some insights on what we can be doing. Do you want to go into the next topic? The what is it? Temperament.
Temperament.
So I didn't even know what it was. I didn't Google it on purpose because I wanted him to explain what it is. But y'all could call in. Let me put a banner up, and I just gonna make it public on the Facebook, and then we're going live. Let me see. And I want to honor you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me get my headphones ready. Actually, let's get started because I want to make sure we use the time, please. Hey everybody, welcome back. Suzette Speaks live on your radio. I have a special guest with me in studio today, Dr. Jason Prendergast. He is the founder of Edify Counseling. Go, okay, get it. Go. Tell me what you're the founder of, sir. Cool. I was there. Okay, I was like getting there. Okay, just left out the group. I was like, what did group come? Okay, Edify Counseling Group. And where can people find Edify Counseling Group?
You can find me at www.edifycounseling.com. You can go to Dr. Jason Anthony on IG, also at Edify Counseling on Instagram.
Perfect. And if you guys are just joining, welcome. We're having a wonderful conversation today. I want to big up everybody watching online. Suzette Speaks is live every Thursday and Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. You guys know we have great conversations. People tell me all the time, Sue, I don't want to get up from out of my car. I got to go back to lunch. But you guys are actually hitting some great topics, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you guys for the support. You can also follow me on all platforms, and that's Suzette Speaks. 1Z, 2T, and an S at the end. I appreciate you so much. We're talking about social media's impact on our mental health, right? As adults, we do a lot of scrolling, scroll. Even just now in between the break, I'm just, in full disclosure in the studio here. If you're watching online, you might have seen it, but I have to be posting. I have to make sure I'm live on Instagram. I have to make sure I'm live on Facebook and on YouTube. So social media is such a big part of our lives, our marketing, our branding, but just in how we spend our time. And so, Doc, how do we know if we have a problem? This is what cause people just we think it's normal. So what does the problem actually look like?
The problem looks like when you're not taking care of your responsibilities in your life, spending time with those that matter, your children, working on building yourself up, your relationship with God, or it's your career. It's when you realize that you're spending more time on social media than you are working on yourself.
And so you talked about the detriment that comparison has on us.
Yeah.
Talk more about what you see that does to our mental health when we're constantly looking at others and comparing ourselves.
I see a lot of people really struggling with a low self-esteem.
Yeah.
A low sense of value or self-worth. And social media sometimes can be used as that barometer to increase my self-esteem because I have people liking me, I have people following me. It can serve in that purpose, but we see the aspect when they get back to their real lives.
Yeah,
it's a different type of picture.
Yeah, so I think this real issue with it comes to breaking down our self-esteem. I do feel like people who just live in the real world, so to speak, maybe have an advantage when it comes to how they feel about themselves because there's not this constant idea of what the perfect face, body, skin, marriage, relationship looks like. You could just be doing you because guess what? Everybody have problems behind closed doors, This is one thing I also realized is that the prettiest picture you never understand the real drama that's going on. And not that everybody has to have drama, but there's oftentimes challenges. And we don't get those in the Instagram story. We don't get those in the Facebook post. We get, my kid is so perfect. And of course, graduation season. Oh, everybody on the timeline. I'm big up everybody graduated and we're proud of our kids, So that's a good thing. But you never hear the drama of whole them have to work with the picnic to get them to the finish line. Oftentimes the young people can be very challenging. Teenagers and such can be very challenging. So we always have to remember that we're all human and we can't spend too much time because we will start to envy and believe that other people better than us. Nobody know better than you. Everybody's the same in God's eyes. God gave us the same face, nose, eyes, ears, brain in our head. We can't focus on what other people have and end up in a sense feeling like we should have it. We have to really focus on our own walk. Talk about you mentioned a term when we were preparing for this interview, y'all. He mentioned a term. Tell me the term now.
Temperament therapy.
Temperament
Therapy.
therapy.
Yes.
So I know temperament is a very Caribbean word. I feel like people talk about your temperament. Our temperament and those type of things. I feel like, but do I really know what that means? So tell us what temperament, temperament.
It's all how you pronounce it, but temperament.
We Americans say temperament, and then Caribbean say temperament.
So either way,
You add a little extra.
Temperament therapy is I consider the missing link. When you look at becoming, working with the whole person, body, soul, and spirit, you work out physically, you take care of your body, you go to church, you pray, you read scripture, you take care of yourself spiritually, but what about your soul? What about your emotions?
Yes.
So temperaments are the inborn part of us that determines how we react to people, places, and things.
Okay.
It impacts our environment, the way we see our environment, and identifying your temperament is a way you can really navigate life with certain information and understanding of why you behave the way you behave. Temperament isn't behavior, but it's characteristics that can lead to certain behaviors.
Why? He's teaching y'all. Let me give me a breakdown. Give me an example of how somebody dealing with an issue can be changed by or impacted by temperament therapy.
Well, when you think of couples, temperament therapy is something I was introduced to about 10 years ago, and it changed my life personally. My own temperament assessment identified I have this temperament called phlegmatic.
Like a flame?
Phlegmatic. Well, it goes deep into that, but the phlegmatic is a temperament that's has a good worldview. They make great philosophers. They're very even-tempered, very adaptable to any situation. But one thing they lack is a lot of emotional energy. So when this temperament is emotionally drained, they're less likely to want to socialize, be around people, they withdraw, but their loved ones don't understand that. They sometimes use sarcasm as a way to distance themselves from people rather than saying, hey, I'm just emotionally depleted right now, leave me alone. So that's one of the issues. But
so wait, pause. Let me have two questions about that. So I've understood, the personality test. Some people listening might be familiar with this. If you ever worked in like a corporate environment, they give you the personality test. Yes. Or like the red, blue, green, yellow. You remember that test? Them still using it? I think they're using it. And then tell you, different, you're a cool person or you're red or you're more emotional or passionate. Does this temperament therapy fall in that type of idea?
Absolutely.
It is, okay.
It's based off the Pyro B, which is a very well-known personality assessment. But let me break it down.
I don't know none of this. I teach.
Temperament is the real deal. It is considered the first building block of who we are.
Temperament.
Personality is considered a mask. People can act differently when they're around certain people. People act differently at home than they do at school. Temperament you can't fake. It's considered innate behavior. So although personality is cool, I want to know who somebody really is. I want to know who I really am. So therefore, I'm going to look at the first building block, which is temperament. So
this is a test you can take online?
It's a test. Well, it's not just any test. I'm a certified temperament therapist. I've been licensed to administer this assessment.
So how much that cost?
Well,
you can't tell me on the radio. All right. No, I'm trying to figure out, do I need to get in touch with me? I need to get in touch with my temperament. Because, some people, me not say me follow sign. Come here, a good Christian woman, I'm going to follow astrology. But the people then will love follow up with, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Gemini, people believe in it. And I think there's some truth in it. I don't know, I could call it celestial. I don't know how to characterize it because it's been demonized a lot by, formal religion. But I do think, I don't know how God set him world in order, but certain things match up with the whole, let's say, your actor, what you believe or how you think. So I'm interested with the temperament therapy. Are there multiple categories of people? Will you call yourself flammable? No, wait.
Phlegmatic. Flammable. So there's 5 temperaments.
Wait, sorry. No disrespect. Me never remember. No disrespect. Phlegmatic.
Phlegmatic is one of them.
And what's the other one?
We have melancholy.
Me know melancholy people.
Very introverted people, not very affectionate. Then you have the sanguine. Very extroverted, very colorful people.
I was about to say, what am I?
Sanguines like to be the center of attention. So
my Lord.
You might be looking at one next to me over there.
I'm not trying, me just. So wait a minute, sanguine.
Sanguine is very extroverted, very colorful. They love to be the center of attention. Normally the loudest in the room. Very colorful people, but they attract people. They're like human magnets.
I can't. I honestly feel that about myself. Not in no. I mean, with all humility.
Some people have.
I can't. I mean, never shot a follower yet in my life. From me, a little girl.
Yeah.
From elementary, primary, whatever you want to call it, school. I ran for every office from 5th grade president, 8th grade president. So it always has been me. And so when people ask me, well, how do you put things together? How do you do social events? I'm just like, I don't even know if I could teach it. I tried to teach it with this public speaking. You were interested. I'm going to do the class again. I'm thinking about taping the class and do it in maybe like a 25-part small. Hey, let's go on how, you guys, I was teaching other people how to become profitable from public speaking. So I was looking at it and I was like, there were parts of it that were very difficult to explain because I'm like, I'm not going to lie to people. Some of it is just me, I think. And then again, maybe I haven't kind of, molecularized the steps. I made that up, yeah. Like, how would I teach this? And then other parts I think is like a God's gift that some people have that temperament. Yes. And it goes with just you and how God made you, So it was very interesting. So do you have 4 categories or?
Well, there's 5. I mentioned the melancholy, the same thing, phlegmatic, which happened to me. And then you have the choleric. Cholerics are the control freaks. Now, the word narcissist is probably one of the most commonly used words today. Everybody's a narcissist, right? Everybody's dating a narcissist. Well, in this assessment, I can actually see that.
Wow.
Because a certain temperament has the need to control. One of the elements of narcissism is control and manipulation, and the choleric is one of them. And it's interesting because the whole puffy thing, the video, as a certified temperament therapist, I was looking at like it's probably a choleric.
Wow, the control,
the manipulation of
it. So this is very interesting, y'all. And I think what this all is about is understanding yourself more. When you understand yourself, it's a different way that you walk through the world. I think sometimes we expect the answers to be outside of ourselves, but sometimes you have to study yourself first. You look at other people. I have to study what make you go, what make you feel happy. I was talking to my cousin yesterday, and I was trying to get some dietary advice. My cousin is in Jersey, and she just get a good job at a nice high-end gym, and she said the client them stusha and whatever. So I was like, okay, girl, you could get me with a good meal plan. What's going on? And she was just like, well, you have to know what your body, how it responds to certain things. And I kept saying, just tell me what to eat. I'm over this, macros of this, but don't eat, this. And, as us pescatarians kind of find it difficult to find protein sources outside, obviously, fish. And then a lot of those other protein sources have a lot of carb when they talk about like the beans and the legumes and things. So I was just like, well, just tell me which beans and which legumes to stop eat or how much to eat, me age, how we going to make this happen.
I actually heard that you should eat according to your blood type.
That's the next thing. So when you talk to people and you don't get no clear answer, that's how I felt. And this is like the second person I've talked to where I'm like, what are you eating? Because I've seen them slim down. So obviously she's a little younger than me, but I saw a big man do the same thing and I'm asking him what to do and I'm getting a lot of lip service, but no real like tangible, this is what I did. Here, I'm telling him cook everything in coconut oil, but that's about it. Like I'm like, what else? I'm like, what time of day do you eat? And what do you eat? Can you just tell me? And I know we might be different because of female body, male body, hormones, different things on age and thing, I think. But the point being that it comes down to you, and how somebody else's body even reacts to food is different. And I've learned to accept that because people always talk about just the calorie deficit diet. And I'm just like, it don't work for everybody like that. Because certain people's bodies, some people's gut, intestine, I can't go too deep, but I had this good conversation with my cousin yesterday. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is kind of crazy that we want the results everybody else has, but we don't respect that our individuality sometimes affords us something different.
Absolutely.
Not even less or more, but just something different. So understanding yourself, I'm talking about in the physical realm, that was with the food and how it reacts. And I told her she put word upon me because my stomach started hurt me yesterday. I started getting a little gas. I ate an edamame. I ate an edamame, and I've never had problems with edamame before. And then all of a sudden, my stomach, because I'm like, I eat food, nothing bothers me. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, I'm like, oh, the edamame got me got stuff. What's going on? So it just made me more conscious of like, oh, there are ways in which your body does react. So, what's the benefit of having this type of assessment?
To really know yourself, understand yourself, to identify triggers. Some people react to situations differently. I think one of the most beneficial thing of temperament therapy is to start to put yourself in situations that are harmonious to your temperament. Some temperaments are extroverted, some are introverted, some are relationship oriented, some are task oriented. Somebody relationship oriented should not be working in a cubicle in a closed office. They
Amen.
thrive on communication, whereas somebody who's introverted shouldn't be working at a busy
Yeah.
restaurant, or you have to
Right.
really kind of know your temperament and
Yes.
place yourself in situations that are really healthy for that
Give
temperament.
me give me like a success story where you've seen
I have so
somebody
many,
who, yeah,
so
it can
many.
be, of course, anonymous, but people want to
Okay.
hear where the rubber meets the road. What happened? What did it do? Did it help the person? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so I know about myself. Now what? So how does that apply to your everyday life?
I think one of the interesting temperaments is called supine, SUPINE. This temperament lacks a lot of self-esteem. They have self-esteem issues, but one thing they do, they internalize a lot of conflict and they have a lot of indirect behavior. So this
Mm,
temperament wants a lot of love and affection, but they don't express it. So they come off to their loved ones as being disconnected, as being somebody who's not in need of love and affection, but the lack of love and affection leads to frustration on their part. So when you're able to start expressing themselves more, initiating, they're known as a responding temperament. They respond to "I love you." They'll never say "I love you" first. They'll never initiate.
mm,
So if you teach us a client to start initiating,
mm.
they start getting back what they want in the first place.
That I'm gonna move you over just a little bit
Okay,
here. Come this
this
side.
way.
Because me, I
Yeah,
said the people them not see on you get some good knowledge. I'm talking about for the YouTube and the Facebook side. Big up
yeah,
everybody watching on those platforms. Dr. Jason Prendergast is here doing work. Edify Counseling Group is the name of his company. He helps everybody. Tell us again what the practice areas are for the people that you help.
I work with individuals. I work with couples, married couples, youth, teens. A lot of people call me. A lot of therapists today are moving away from teenagers. But
Oh, a
I
lot.
don't blame them. I'm just kidding. I love them, but
They
I
need
take them.
help.
They need help.
They
They
need
need
help.
more help than
Yeah,
anybody right
yeah.
now. Huge work. Yeah,
Pressure time for the young
absolutely.
people.
A
So
lot
we
of
don't want to
anxiety.
give up on them. And you know what? I always say that the young people also survived the pandemic. It changed them.
Oh wow.
It changed them. The high
Yeah.
schoolers that came in who never got a graduation, those who just got a graduation, like it changed the young people. The fear that was permeating throughout society during the COVID, I think indirectly, like maybe we talked about it yesterday, Humble Lion, like even the autonomic system and how we have muscle memory
Oh yeah.
of this fear of people. And so
Absolutely.
when it comes to opening back up and yeah, we outside and we in the streets, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it. It's always this kind of sense of fear. What does this person mean for me? Do they mean me well? Do they want something from me? But I think there's also that residual kind of like fear that we've had for
Absolutely.
like 3-4 years. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So Doc, if you had somebody that was doubting how to step out of their, we could call it vice, but we're just going to say challenge. We talk about social media throughout the show, y'all. If you missed the first half, again, you can catch it online. Also on the Suzette Speaks platforms, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and my YouTube. But like people, like I said, struggling to fit in, struggling to feel love, struggling for friendship. I
Mhm.
noticed that especially as we get older, it's harder to find these uh, support groups
Yeah.
where we could just be ourselves. Nobody judge us when we open up and stuff. So for those who are in need of more support, you know and if they're listening and they're doubting, well, I don't really need therapy though. I don't really need that. I'm not that bad. I don't reach that stuff. I've my religion, I've my family, and we're trying to just figure this thing out on my own. What would you say that to them that might help them understand better the benefits?
You will benefit from counseling. Counseling is a way to level up. And that's what I tell a lot of my clients. You're not coming to me because you have problems, and maybe you do. But we can work through them. But I think it's so beneficial to understand that you just were not created today. You are a product of your past,
Mm,
your experiences. We administer an assessment called adverse childhood experiences, called ACEs. And that helps people to identify that what you're dealing with today was not caused by something recent, even though it may have, you may have experienced some recent trauma, but you can go back to your childhood experiences, your relationship with your parents, any adverse conditions that you may have experienced. So I think to really understand what's going on with you now, you have to kind of take a look back and see where you came from.
Yes. We love to say, that is the past. And, when you're going to let that go. And, especially Caribbean parents, we love y'all. We do. But them did cause a lot of trauma. And I'm talking about to big people, people at whole know. If them look back at what mama and papa used to say and used to do, it was painful. And some of them didn't know better. Some of them were dealing with their own trauma. Some of them never learn, how to deal with them anger. Some people get beaten out of anger and some wickedness and some things that, people don't even talk about now. We just came to America and we just started living. And then it kind of creep up on you. Somebody know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And then you'll live your life and you'll understand that this is not something that can always be buried or hidden. Oftentimes it rears its ugly head. And then that's when you have to step out there and say to yourself, I need help. I need help. This bothers me. It's affecting my relationships.
Yeah.
Affecting the relationships with my parents, the ones I love, my partner, my husband, my wife, my kids. We can't keep repeat the same cycles. Every time we look up, we see some things that remind us about what we shouldn't be doing, and guess what? We're imperfect. And if you see yourself in those cycles, caught up in those cycles, where you are repeat bad behavior where you never want to your kids, you need to seek out some help. Counseling is real. And the thing is, we have the resources out here, but we don't always feel like we can access them. Is counseling affordable, you feel like now? Are there
Absolutely.
ways people can get in with insurance or things like
Absolutely.
this?
Most insurances do cover counseling.
Mm.
All of them cover counseling. So reach out, get connected, and get help.
Well, I listen, we could go even deeper, y'all. I love these conversations. I want to thank my special guest, Dr. Jason Prendergast, for doing all the work he's been doing, for coming in and sharing. I think I never heard of this assessment. No, I forgot look on temperament therapy to understand myself more.
Yes.
And again, it just gives us an advantage to go into life, go into relationships, go into jobs, and kind of do what suits us. I think that's a big breakthrough. So you guys can look it up at your leisure. And once again, I want y'all to contact him if you need therapy, if you're looking for a therapist. We got a lot of good Black therapists down here. I think we take that for granted. In South Florida, it's not like that all over the country, y'all. We got a lot of people that are here to serve, and he is one of them. Just tell us again what your number is and what your website is so people can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me at www.edifycounseling.com. You can call me at 888-77-EDIFY. That's EDIFY. Follow me on Instagram and at Dr. Jason Anthony.
Listen, the superstar has come and the superstar has spoken. And I believe we might have helped somebody today. If you have been on the fence, just do yourself a favor and go ahead and seek the therapy. I appreciate Dr. Prendergast. If y'all calling in or not calling late, the show done. So if you want to call in and if you need to get in contact with him, you can call a station. We'll make sure to get you in contact. 850-446-0562, 850-446-0562. And you can always follow him online. Follow me as well. I'll be posting parts of this interview on my page, Suzette Speaks. Follow me. I'll follow you back. Why not? So please give me a follow up on Instagram. Give me a follow up on Facebook and on YouTube. And let's connect. We're here to build community. I also want to thank again the Miami Bar Association for having me as the MC of their 108th gala. It's a big deal, y'all. The first Black woman will be sworn in as the chairwoman, the president of the Miami Bar. That represents all attorneys, not just Black attorneys. That's for all Miami attorneys. That's a big darn deal. Big up Miss Sharice Morgan, Haitian American, doing her thing. Will be the first Black woman to lead that prestigious organization, and we'll be doing her swearing in at the gala coming up at Manor Winwood, and I'm grateful to be serving as the mistress of ceremony. So thank you again for having me as your MC. But yeah, just keep the vibe going. A Humble Lion had us in a good vibe coming to the show. Lisa B gonna take us out. It's Fire Fridays, y'all. This is my favorite time on this radio station. So thank you for listening, and always keep it locked to Voice of the Caribbean, I Radio. Suzette Speaks. We'll see you next week.
Always, yeah, I always keep it right to the end.
Right now, we do something wrong.
I don't know.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.